I don't know what the big deal is. Tell her to worry about fucking listing the house. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Can't say that.
Logic, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. The time is now 1800 hours, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Central Standard Time. We want to welcome everybody to the live evening edition of the 2024 Hoka Motorcycle Challenge. We have a lot in store for you tonight, a lot of updates. We're going to try to get some callers coming in. I know the elephant in the room is the fleet tracker. There's nothing that we can do about it. HQ already know. Family members have expressed their concerns and dislikes about it. So, folks, let us get this set up. We're going to queue everything up. We're going to try to get Hop back on. We're going to get Hop back on. There you go. Hop, you good?
I'm good.
There he is.
I said it. Everything sounds good. No echoes, no Sharif shenanigans. Just give me a second here, guys. Get the big board up. There we go. All right. So we're just gonna let people come in. We're at 92, 93. We want to welcome everybody. You could catch us at Hops Adventure on YouTube. You can catch us on Keep It Logic.
Logical.
And you can catch us logical, keep it logical. Thank you, sir. And at K Solar the Rider on YouTube. So feel free to chime in. I know some bless you. I know some people are commenting on those links, and we
Hmm.
appreciate you. And we're gonna
Absolutely.
try to get this thing. We're gonna get this thing going. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us and see us. We appreciate you. That let us know that we are up and you can hear us. As soon as I see
Yeah,
some
we're
thumbs
good.
up, we're gonna right. Just got something in from headquarters. Construction on YT 1 west of Wellness Check. Use caution, low gear, and stay at back. Do not queue to front. I take it that means stay back where you're at in your position. Do not try to move to the front of the pack for that check. So As you roll into the check, just stay where you're at, and then they will move you forward. That's what we just got in from HQ. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, LZ. Guys, are you what are you seeing on your site? You seeing comments come through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see the comments on my YouTube page.
Okay, good deal. Thank you, Fit to Ride. Thank you, Mike Bear. Evening to you. Yes, indeed. We want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon for the live update of the 2024 Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. I know the main question is who's up front, who's in lead. Your guess is just as good as ours. Hopping out and scratching our head, trying to phone calls, trying to figure out who's in the lead. We do know that.
I'm pretty sure it's Dirty Dan.
Whoa!
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Riot made a wrong turn, and it cost him about 4 hours.
Whoa!
Oh, I thought that was way back in the Yukon somewhere.
No, there's another one right here, right before you get into Alaska.
Okay.
So I think with that, I had pulled up his spot tracker, and he's definitely behind Dirty Dan. So I'm going to assume Dirty Dan is in the lead.
All right, we got an upset. We got a change, folks. We got a leadership change. Thank you, Hop. Hey, folks, we're working from all angles, so just bear with us. Just bear with us. But yep, looks like Dirty Dan, rider number 1203. Dirty Dan is a new rider. Let's pull up his bio right quick. That would be Daniel Bell. And Daniel Bell is a seasoned rider, like he's been up to Alaska. He's familiar with the Yukon. Up there, he knows the distance between gas stops. He knows the terrain. He looked like he's ridden the Dalton Highway. Shout out to everybody that's ridden the Dalton Highway. Everybody that's ridden the Dalton Highway, shout out to you. So I do not know if he's on that Pan Am, but he's a seasoned rider. So it look like we may have a leader change. So, but we do know Dirty Dan, Riot, and Kilroy are up front. We do know that Pothole has moved up. Shell is with him. She's still up in the lead as a front runner. And yeah.
What about Christmas? Christmas. Wasn't he up in that pack?
Yes, Christmas is up in that pack as well. We just do not know his position.
Right. His tracker's still stuck down in British Columbia.
Right. So we're gonna back out the leaderboard here. And that's a major shock to me, folks. You just got to bear with me as I get my bearings on the big boy. And as you can see right here, this is where the trackers have been going out. This is mile 80 rest stop. Mile 80 rest stop. Daryl, that's
yes, sir.
Are you there, Logic?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Logic, give us an update. Just give us an update. That's Chris here. I do not know if that's his second tracker or his main tracker.
You broke up a little bit.
I do not know if that's his main tracker or there's his
on Chris. Yeah, I don't know which one is his main tracker or not, but I know he was with the pack when they got to that area, and then when everybody lost connection. So we really don't know exactly where his location is from that point going forward.
Okay.
But you want his number?
All right.
Is 190? Oh, you got it on the
No, not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to load this video up, folks. This is an inspirational video. We have people in the queue. We see you in the queue, Rick. We see you in the queue, Terry. But we're gonna try to get this video up. Somebody got some noise in the background. Let me cue this up. Are we there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sound like we got some noise in the background there.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, I'm typing.
Okay.
My keyboard is
So yeah,
loud.
no, it sounds like somebody talking. It's just probably.
Yeah, my bad. I muted. I had got
Some
some people here cleaning the house.
So this is kind of a lengthy video, but what we're going to do is we're going to play just the first part of. This is Terry Mathis, rider number 1000 Echo, and we're just gonna hear a little bit from him here, and then we're gonna key over because we have him actually coming in live.
Yeah, my proof of life video. Yeah, still alive. No cast or anything else. Getting a lot of calls and stuff about what actually happened, ending the Hoka hay for me. So I figured I'd just go ahead and say it here and everybody get it all at once. So yesterday, north of Price, US 191, 2-lane road, goes up through the mountains. Ran into a thunderstorm, high winds, and then a hailstorm. And the hail was pretty good size coming down, beating the shit out of me. So I pulled off to the side. There was a little pulled out to a little side and had waited out the worst of it. And rain came down pretty hard. And I waited for, because the way the thunderstorms are moving is they come and they hit you real hard. And then it's clear skies again, or at least no rain. And so I waited for it to stop raining, cleared up a little bit, jumped on the bike, and fired off down the road again. And as I'm cruising down the road, all of a sudden, it was like hitting black ice, I imagine is the best way I can say it. And the bike actually just started spinning. And on one of the spins, it upended, and me and the bike slammed to the ground and went sliding down the highway. Unfortunately, during its spin, when it slammed down, I was sliding in front of the motorcycle. And if you ride a motorcycle, you know that is absolutely the worst place to be, because if you come to a sudden stop, that hurts, and then your bike comes to a sudden stop against you, and that's worse. So I'm kind of still in contact with the bike and wrestling it around. And as we spun, we went off the side of the road into the embankment. And luckily, me and the bike came to rest side by side and not it on top of me. And so I got up, picked the bike up, and was like, what the hell happened? So I walked back a little bit, and I found where there had been a flash flood across the road.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop it there, and we're actually going to bring Terry on. Terry, we're going to pick it up from there. How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. Sore, felt like I fell off a building. But
Right.
1000 E still on the course. I'm 1000 T.
Okay, 1000 Tango. So give us a little history behind that before we get into it.
You give a little history into what?
The 1000 series, 1000 E, 1000 T.
Oh, okay. It takes a moment. There was a SEAL named Mike Martin that was a Vietnam veteran, and he also he got out after his tour at SEAL Team 1, got out for 10 years. I believe it was 10 years, came back into the Navy, went through BUDS again, So he served in Vietnam, served in the first Gulf War, served in the War on Terror. I mean, he saw it all. And he was in 2018 Hoka, and he crashed and broke his ribs and couldn't continue. So he turned, me and him, he and I were talking about doing 2020 together. And unfortunately, he passed away before 2020. So four of us wanted to ride it in his honor. And the Hoka, when I told them that, they decided that they were going to do something special with the 1,000 numbers and give four 1,000 separated only by our first initial at the end, which is pretty cool of them. So that's how there's four 1,000s.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Folks, there's the little history behind the 4,000 series. So kind of catch us up on what happened. I know we heard it, your video, but please just give the people a perspective of what happened and how you find yourself in the position of entering the storm and going down.
Well, I mean, I did what I thought was safe. That storm really started coming down, and that's the biggest hell I've ever ridden into. So I pulled off the road and waited for it to pass. And when the rain stopped, it was like, okay, I'm good. There's just a fine sheen of water. You know, the road's wet, no big deal. But I found out later from the deputies that that road is incredibly dangerous because of the way the water flows across it, and it drags all that really fine clay sand across the road, and you really can't see it.
Right.
And when I entered into it, you know, when you're riding and you lose the back wheel, you still got the front end you can kind of control, or vice versa. But both wheels cut loose at the same time and started spinning, and there was just, I was on for the ride at that point. I was on the ground real
Right.
fast.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, hey, first off, we're glad you're okay. I know you said you're banged up just a little sore there. The bike condition. What is the bike condition?
Well, it shattered the shark nose fairing on it. It's broken right across the right side of it. You can look through the speaker opening and see daylight on the other side. The handlebars are tweaked and a little forward. The hand controls are all rolled forward. The brake lever is rolled forward and down. The mirrors are all folded up. It doesn't roll like it should, so something's wrong in the front end. It went down pretty hard, and then when it went into the embankment, it didn't do it any favors.
Right. Right.
Bad deal. Sorry to hear.
It was a hell of a ride there for a second, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm a big fan of wearing all my protective gear, and I think that saved me quite a bit. I'm a big fan. I used to be a long sleeve and jeans kind of guy, but I started wearing protective gear with padding in it and stuff like that, and I think that saved me from some serious injuries.
Good. 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 Logic. Hop. We're on with Terry, and feel free to ask him any questions, guys. I mean, we're seasoned riders. We've been here. I'm pretty sure we've all been down. We've experienced it. Um,
Yeah,
fatigue factor.
we've all went down. It's horrible. You know, that gear, it's there for a reason. So I'm definitely glad you had your gear on.
Yeah, I've been about 3 or 4 different crashes in the past 30 something years, and that was the most violent one I've been in. That was actually one where I'm flying across the ground thinking this isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
Mm,
Were you wearing
yeah.
Climb?
Yeah.
What's that?
Were you wearing Climb? Or what
Yeah,
kind of gear?
I was wearing climb gear and a full face helmet.
Yeah.
So I haven't even inspected the helmet yet, but my head feels pretty good. My neck don't hurt, so I really don't think I hit my head on the ground too hard. I took most of the impact across my right side. Because when I went down, I was kind of balling up just a little bit and went into the bank back first with that big climb back pad in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as your physical state, your fatigue, was fatigue a factor to that, or was it just the weather that played that role in you going down though?
Well, actually,
We're on day, I think it happened during day 8, I think.
I was actually riding along earlier in the day thinking about how great I felt. That the previous two Hoka Hays I've completed, by this point I was beat up pretty bad, you know. But this Hoka Hay, because I don't know why, but I felt better.
Mhm.
And the I wasn't feeling fatigued. I was going to be at at the second checkpoint in about 2.5, maybe 3 hours, and I was feeling really good physically and mentally. So
Good, good. That's
just
yeah.
yeah, so it's just one of those things where came out of nowhere. It's like the deputies called it act of God, kind of like being struck by lightning. You just it's just there.
Wow, wow. With that being said, what advice could you give any riders that's still in it? Because there's still some bad weather ahead for some of the riders.
Um, well, in my case, I mean, I wasn't. I'd stopped and waited the storm out, and it wasn't like there was a big rock slide across the road. It was just the water had carried a fine sheen of stuff across the road. It'd be like hitting black acid ice at night that you didn't know was there. So,
Right.
I mean, there's not a lot of it.
I think we just lost them, folks.
Lost
Yeah.
We lost them. Okay, I think we lost
But
them.
he said something that's very important. I mean, like it's to each his own. Everybody chooses the way they want to ride, the way they want to dress. But a lot of us always still say, "Hey, wear protective gear." There's even protective gear, long sleeves, long pants. That
Right.
it may look bulky, it may look hot, but it's really
It
for your
serves a purpose. It
yeah,
truly serves a purpose.
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
you got to have it for sure. Yeah, Aubrey, they will replace it as long as you have a police report. You have to have a police report.
Terry, can you hear us? I think we just lost him right there. He's just completely dropped. So yeah, folks, that was Terry Mathers, rider number 1000 Tango. Um, and yeah, um, he contributed to his riding gear, but now sustaining some serious injury because he did
Yeah.
say he slid a little bit and he rode a little bit. So that's key and that's important. And then his helmet, definitely having a full helmet on, not a half shell or anything like that. That full helmet saved them. So yeah, we're gonna pull the big boy back up, and then we're gonna load another rider in the queue. Thank you, Terry, for calling in and sharing that with us. We definitely play some more of your video uh, so that the riders and family members can hear what's going on. We're in day 9 right now, the evening of day 9, folks. Riders are beat. They've been through it all. They've ridden in all type of different conditions. Fatigue is setting in. Mistakes are becoming more and more costly, and we definitely want to keep those riders in mind. I know there's some riders, Grizzly Harley Davidson. I think we have someone in the queue. Let's see who we have in the queue. Rick Rogers. Rick,
Hey, big man.
how you doing? Rick
I'm
Rogers,
doing well, sir. How are you?
rider number 1015. Rider number 1015. Rick, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
It's
I
my
know it's a
pleasure.
hard decision you had to make. If you would, sir, please just give us your perspective on the 2024 Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, and how did you end up making the decision that you made?
2024 was is my third challenge, and for me, it was the roughest so far. Florida just flat kicked my butt. We were in it. It seemed like forever. Rain, storm every day, and then when it wasn't doing that, it was 90 degrees and 90 degrees humidity. And I got to a point where at some point I got wet and never got dry. All my gear was wet. Everything was damp. Everything had a mildew sheen going to it. And I didn't realize until we got to the first checkpoint and I was able to peel off my riding gear and see what was going on that I had some problems happening to me physically. And I ended up in urgent care there in
Right.
Rogers, Arkansas to have a doc check it out. And of course, his opinion was, hey, stay dry. get everything dried and stay dry, and gave me some ointment and some salve and said, do this in a clean place. And first of all, there's no clean place on the Hoka. And second is you can't do that stuff in a parking lot. Anyway, it was a tough row for me. And it got to the point where I was miserable. It was uncomfortable. I had blisters happening, and I couldn't stay focused on what I was doing on the road. And to the point where I'm standing up on the foot pegs, trying to readjust all of my gear to find a place that didn't hurt to set, look up and see deer standing right in front of me. And that happened more than once, where animals were in the roadway and I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be paying attention to. And then the second part for me, Solo, was I showed up in Florida with every piece of gear I had. I had cooling stuff, and I had heated stuff, and I had all my tents and sleeping bags and all of that, and felt like I had too much. And I ended up shipping a bunch of it home, and I think I shipped the wrong stuff home. So I was feeling underprepared gear-wise. A couple of nights I was chilly, and it was just in the low 60s. So I think of what's Alaska going to go to do to me? So I'm not feeling comfortable, and I've got the wrong gears in my mind. I'm thinking in a way that there's just too many distractions, and for me, it was just time to make the decision and bail. Right. And of course, you think you're letting down everybody. You got
yeah, right. People that
people at home that are supporting
sponsors, people who donated to your charity organization. Right. Now, another thing what people have to realize, you rode from California to Florida to start the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge.
Yeah. So I think the thing that people don't understand about the Hoka Hey is that a Hoka Hey mile is different than any other mile we do as long distance riders. You can sit down and plan a ride, a normal ride, and you know how long it's going to take you to ride 1,000 miles. So you look at the Hoka Hey turns come up in front of you, and you see, I got about 400 miles to the checkpoint. Well, that's a long 400 miles because it's all twists and turns, and it's 35 mile an hour speed limits with RVs in front of you, and you just can't make the time like you can other places. And all of that just sort of builds up to this point of frustration where it's like something's going to snap, and I didn't want it to be me.
Right. Doug was saying, Rick, didn't you have a flat tire in Miami area? And
I did. That's how my Hoka Hey started. Coming off the Keys, my back tire started going low. I was getting my sensor showing me my tire pressure dropping, and I got it off the Keys before it went completely flat. And it was 10 hours to get a tow truck to me. What they were saying was that there was emergencies everywhere, and since I was off the highway and in a safe place, I was a low priority, and it took 10 hours and then 4 hours to get it to a dealer and get the tire changed. So I was basically 14 hours behind on the very first day.
Right. Wow. You see, folks, factors come into play. You really have to look at that, and even before he started the race, he had already had factors working against him. What advice could you give anybody who's thinking about riding the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge? Because I know Logic is our novelist. He's our novelist up here. We have me. I'm a champion. I've won it. Hop have ridden it 3 times. Finished it twice, 1 DQ. So we got all the bases covered as far as a novelist being up here who's interested in riding it. So he has a different perspective, different questions to ask. What advice could you give somebody that's interested or thinking about riding a Hoka Hey?
I found for me that I was curious enough about it, and that curiosity didn't go away. After I read more, I wanted to know more. And that's when I met guys like you, Solo. And you actually helped me get in the first Hoka because I applied way late. And you gave me some tips on people to speak to and how to kind of maybe backdoor myself in. And it worked. I was in the first one with your help. So, but it was a curiosity. It was something that intrigued me. I wanted to see if it was something I could do. And it didn't go away. So if you're the same person, if you keep coming back to this, if you keep wanting to touch it, all you got to do is try. Just put your application in and give it a try.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. What do you have for Rick?
Nothing. I'm just I'm bummed to see you not be able to finish it. I know that weighs on you. I know that's a that's a bad deal, but just kind of one of those things.
Yeah. One thing, guys, about this whole tracker system is you've been out there and you know, and I don't know that the other people watching do. You can feel people watching you because you're getting comments from your buddies and from your family. And I know if I make a wrong turn, the first thought I have is, oh, I'm going to hear about this from one of the guys.
Right.
And you feel that, and you feel like a sense of obligation to not let these people down.
Right.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an emotional journey.
Yeah.
I know for me, riding it, the first time out, I was so nervous, I was so scared, a true rookie to it, and I made some rookie mistakes, and I ended up punishing myself.
Yeah.
You will find that you'll punish yourself, you'll get down, you'll doubt yourself, and you'll start making bad decisions, and then I think you made the right decision. I'm bummed to see you withdraw, but the farther you go in this thing, you're going north, you're going to be dealing with more
Yeah.
bad weather at night. You're not going to be able to really rest because the mosquitoes are bad up there. It's cold
Yeah.
up there, so you're not going to be able to rest. So you're always going to be on the edge, and the deeper you go into it, the worse it's going to be. But hey, we're glad you made your decision. You're healthy. You're still with us. You're Hoka Hey, and yeah, I mean, it is. It's tough call, but you made the right decision. I think you did.
I
I
appreciate
had to,
hearing that
I
from
had,
you.
I had to make the call this year myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I,
know you
Yeah,
did.
I wanted
same,
to
me
be
too.
stubborn. Yeah, hop too. I wanted to be stubborn. I wanted to go against doctor's orders and go out there. I tried to prove myself, but I knew deep down that if I went out there the way that I ride, um, I would have been pushing myself and found myself pushing beyond my limits. And
Yeah.
that's never good. So, Rick, we want to thank you for coming on and sharing this with our viewers today, this evening. And you are Hoka Hey. So,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Rick.
yeah.
Okay.
Take care. Take care of
Okay, hey,
yourself.
Rick. Take care, Rick.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right, folks. That's Rick. He is. I think this was his third Hoka Hey, and he had to make the tough decision to withdraw from
Hmm.
the Hoka Hey, and he gave you his reason. He said, "Hey, I started getting deeper and deeper down in it. I wasn't feeling it, and so you have to make that tough call. You have to make
Yeah.
that decision if you're going to stay in it or you're going to make a decision to pull yourself out of it." But let's go to the big board.
All right.
See, we got another. Okay, so Rick is exiting right now. I think we
I
might
got a
have some.
rider. I got a rider. Looks like they're going home. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. They're heading into
Let's see.
Nebraska.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
uh,
probably done.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
4. Yeah. So now is about the time we start seeing riders exit the course. They've already called headquarters. They inform
Hmm.
headquarters that, hey, look, I'm done. I've reached my limit. This is Josh, new rider. He's a new rider. 1, 2, 3, 4, seasoned rider out of Ohio. But I think he's probably just saying, "Hey, I'm done with this," and he's
Hmm.
exiting. Okay, hey, is a challenging ride, folks. Yes, we may make it look easy. Yes, you may hear some great stories, but there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert, your numbers assigned basically in the order that you sign up. So the lower the numbers, they've ridden before, veterans.
And one thing a lot of people got to understand is when you do something like this, and what I'm learning is that you made it. These guys made it through a hurricane. They made it through a terrible storm just to get this far. We don't understand what you two do. Don't understand the conditions that they're in. and they really have to make that conscious decision to take care of themselves. If they got families, got to make it home to their families. So, you know, we still pray and
That's right.
and congratulate them for making it that far. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And with the Hoka, hey, you know, everybody go out. Like I say, you start out with a plan. We preach it.
Mhm.
You know, formulate a plan on what you want to do if it's happen. But when you start getting into the fatigue, when you start getting tired and exhausted, that plan goes out the window. You're holding on every mile. And another thing, just like what Terry was saying and Rick was saying, Hoka hay miles are a lot different than any other miles you've ridden. Typically, if you're riding in a storm, and I know everybody say I get on I-10, storms come through, and I pound through it, I push through it. That's straight line.
Right.
That's straight line riding, folks. I've done it. I've been there. I've been there where the funnel was right above me, and then I just quickly pull into a gas station and run inside. But when you're on the back roads, when you're on the curves, on the twisties, sand, gravel, animals, all of that will come into play. We're on the big board. Let's take a look at the big board.
Yeah, so I've got a rider out in the field who says he'll call in.
I think we have
We'll
a
give him
couple
a
of more
call. I don't
callers
know if
lined
he's going to
up.
have service. I know he's up in the Yukon, but he said give him a call and we'll see. So this will be rider
Yeah,
1008.
bring him in. Put him in the queue.
This will be rider 1008.
1008.
Pete Milani.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Hop.
What's happening, Milani? How you doing?
We rolling. Headed over. I'm going to try to catch up to Mr. Miller here and slow him down a little so I can lose signal.
So you're on the live. Where are you at?
I am 314 miles north of the start of the outcan.
Right on. How's the ride been lately, or overall, I should say?
Overall, it's been great. You know, we got out of Daytona safe. That's always bad. Both years, and this year also, you know, it's very congested. You're running nose to tail. Got out of there. About halfway down the Keys, I guess we got pounded. That's where I come up on Jason, and we've been together since. Went through some high water, and the tail end of the concerned for flats such as that. I guess if you look through the eye, the hurricane is happy.
Uh-oh. Losing
him.
Losing them.
All right, Pete. Stand on one leg, Pete. Stand on one leg. Hold your hand.
Yeah.
Hold your hand out like this. Yeah.
Stand up on your legs and hold your hand up.
Left foot out. You bring your right foot in.
Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. You cut out for a little bit, so.
Okay, where'd we leave off at?
Let me ask you this. Tell everyone about what's your sleeping arrangement. Are you do you ride until you get tired, or you just ride till midnight, or what's your plan?
I ride until I get tired, mostly before. You know, you start to feel that coming on, and now everything starts to become difficult, including finding a place to stay. Right.
Right.
Mm.
So you want to start out before you get that ball and get your stuff set up. I just carry a Vortex bivy bag. I did bring a tent this year because I was thinking bugs. You know, you're never going to get to sleep. I've had that happen before. I had to get back on my bike and ride because the bugs were too bad. But yeah, you just go to you feel tired, kind of running, sleep.
Breaking up again. All right, we're gonna let him go. He needs the ride, so
Yeah. And
if
folks,
you can hear me, Pete, we'll reach out in a couple days. But thanks for coming on, and stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there, Pete. Hey, I have a great story about with Pete. We were up in the mountains in California, and I was running pretty hard, and I had just almost ran off a cliff, and I happened to pull myself back, and I pulled myself back over, and there was another rider coming down the hill, and as he was coming, I seen his vest. He had his Hoka vest on, so we literally slammed on brakes. We stopped. We hugged each other. We embraced, and I said, "Man, you must be my guardian angel, Pete, because just almost ran off this cliff, ran off the edge, and man, it was good just to see him. For me to take a break, it felt really good. And from that moment on, I've been calling him Nighthawk because he does a lot of riding at night. But yeah, that's that story that Pete and I share. So it was definitely good to see him.
Yeah, Pete came out and rode with me on my big ride. So
Yeah,
we rode all night, had a good time that day. So
yeah,
after the Hoka Hay, well, they make a run up to Prudhoe Bay. Absolutely, yeah. There's a bunch of people that are gonna keep riding up there. You pretty much have to. I
yeah.
mean, if you get all the
Because
way up there,
that's the
you
ultimate coast to coast.
got to
Right there.
spend a
Yeah,
couple extra days doing all the rides there.
yeah. That's the ultimate coast to coast right there from Key West, Florida, to Prudhoe Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of riders just did it. It's some heavy construction up there. Shout out to those guys um, for making that journey. But that is what the IBA called the ultimate coast to coast ride. You can look it up on their website. That's from Key West, Florida, up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. And that
And you've
way
got
you have
like
to
30
get on
days
the
to do
Dalton
that.
Highway, which is
Plenty of
plus
time.
miles of gravel.
You get how long? You said hops?
I think like 30 days. I mean, it's something ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Roadrunner
Let's see
Tractor
who's at the
finally
border
updated. He's up by
crossing.
the border.
I think the signal is still good. Yeah, I think the signal's still good up in this area. So we're tracking 1019 is in, 1219 is in, 67 Connor is in, 904 Blevins is in. Who's that tagging right along with him? I'm trying to zero in. 1068 El Gato is in. I think the only can we address the issue about the border? I don't know if that's been put out. Hot
What's that?
message that I sent you earlier, but I mean the one individual who had to turn around and then
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
give it
Go,
a second go.
go ahead.
So
Yeah, go
that was
ahead.
basically one rider who that was basically one rider with a sidearm, and
Ah,
that
There's
that
two of them.
individual, two of them, and
Yeah.
they did the paperwork. Everything was good with the paperwork, with the exception that the expiration date would have expired prior to them exiting. So border patrol said, "Hey, even though your paperwork is all in order, we can't let you bring that in. So you need to go back and find a place to secure that." Typically, what Sharif and I do when we go up and we going over and we carrying our side on, we'll go to the nearest sheriff department or police department. They will uh, in process that thing, serial number, background check, and all that stuff, and then they will store it. As long as we're going to be coming back through that port of entry, we can just go back with that receipt and then pick up our sidearm. So for all those watching, you can ride with a sidearm up to the border, get to your nearest police station or sheriff office up there and check it in.
yeah.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in for this live update. I hope you've been enjoying it. We've been getting some positive feedback. I think this is the first year that someone has actually did a live broadcast, did a live feed. So we hope we're giving you a good product. We're hoping you keeping you informed. For all the family members and supporters out there tuning in, thank you for sending us update on your rider because you may have a different way of contacting them or staying in contact with them. So we are getting a lot of stuff on the backside, folks. And then too, there's a lot of stuff that we can't put out because the
Right.
family haven't been notified. Um, You know, headquarters didn't give us the green light to put it out. Headquarters did give us some guidelines to follow because we are mentioning the Hoka hay. So we're trying to keep it clean. We're trying to abide. So
I do have an update on Rip. His wife got to
and Rip,
Missoula.
and Rip is his name. Am I right? Because we're not saying R.I.P. Rip is his name.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Hop. Sorry about that. Because some people like, are y'all saying R.I.P.? Rip is his name.
He's alert and talking somewhat. He has compound fractures in both legs, 5 broke ribs. Surgeries have been done, and he's plotting on how to get home. It'll be a bit, but he's trying to figure out a way. So keep him in your prayers. Hope he heals up. That's rough when you have compound fractures in both legs.
Yeah.
You're not going to be walking on them for a while. So bad deal. And
Right.
I just got a message from someone up in Alaska who lives there, who said state troopers are running speed zones between Healy through Anchorage to Girdwood, and they're actively looking for motorcycles.
Okay, folks. So be careful, riders. Slow it down or bye, because we do not want anybody to get pulled, bike get confiscated, and then you're standing beside the road.
That's it. So they do that in Canada and Alaska?
I guess.
Okay.
We're gonna hear some more from Terry, rider number 100 Tango. His video that he posted was, people need to hear it right now.
And it had deposited a fine silk sand clay mixture on the road, and it was actually tough to stand on with my boots because it was so slick. And so hitting that, it just there was no chance, you know. You couldn't see it, and when you're riding, you couldn't see it, and when the bike was on it, it's just one of those things. You just got to go with it. And I will say that up until recently, I was kind of a chaps and leather jacket kind of guy. I wear jeans and long sleeve shirts when I ride. And this last year or so, I got into wearing climb gear. And the climb gear is specifically made for, that. It has elbow pads. They call it armor. You got elbow armor, shoulder armor, hip armor. Everywhere you're going to hit when you crash a bike, they have armor there that you can put in. And actually floated the idea the other day. It was hot. I almost took my armor out, and I didn't. And I hit the ground really hard, and hard enough that you can see from the pictures, it shattered the fairing. The shark nose fairing was shattered. The handlebars are off a little bit. The grips, the controls are off. The mirrors are folded forward. It did a number on the front end of that bike. And when I got on it, I didn't know how many times we'd spun going down the road and on the embankment. But one of the the bike came to rest front wheel forward, but one of the exhaust pipes is completely packed with mud and debris, where it's just totally clogged. So we'd actually spun a few times going down the road. But anyway, I was wearing my climb gear and armor, and my shoulders and elbow and knees are fine. I hit hard enough on my hip pointer, your side of your hip. I hit hard enough there that I'm bruised, and it's really sore, but there's a big armor pad there, and I'm glad it was there, or I probably would have broke my hip. So anyway, that's the gist of it. Instead, I had full gloves on, and somehow the gloves zip up the back, and then you tighten them down, and somehow one of my gloves got ripped off when I was sliding down the road, but my hand was fine. So I had full gloves. The gloves are from Climb, and they're padded. They have the hard knuckles and everything else. My hands are fine, other than I have no strength in them today because apparently I grabbed a hold of those handlebars when everything started going wrong. That I strained my hands, but there was no keeping it up. The deputies called it an act of God, and because there was no way I could anticipate or see that. It's like being struck by lightning. It just happens. There's not the only risk management for that is to stay the hell off the road. But when I pulled out, I'd let the storm pass. I did everything that I thought I could safely do by sitting it out, letting a big thunderstorm pass, because it's a narrow mountain road, and who knows, flash floods. It's been a wicked year for Hoka weather, that's for sure. Survived the tropical storm and a hurricane, and a sudden hailstorm and thunderstorm in Utah takes me out. And I was just thinking about what the most beautiful state I've ridden in so far in the past 2 Hoka has been Utah, and Utah tried to kill me.
All right, folks, we're gonna pull away. We'll chime back in because he a lot of good information, a lot of good perspective coming from Terry, and we want to just say, hey, we're glad you're here. We're glad you pulled through. And on that note, Lionel just posted some good information to cover. MedJet. Hop, you have MedJet, right?
Yes.
Kind of give people a little information about MedJet. I have MedJet. I just recently, I think 2 years ago, I got a MedJet policy. So tell the people a little bit about MedJet and what they offer and how they can assist you if you do some international traveling, even if you are traveling thousands of miles away from home in the lower 48.
Yeah, actually, I believe mine's just expired. But at any rate, yeah, MedJet is an insurance that will get you back home from wherever you're at. Obviously, there's a little add-on if you want to do international. But if you wreck in some other state and you'd rather have care back home, they'll facilitate you getting back home. They also have a rider on the policy where they'll bring your bike back as well. So definitely great to have. It's hard for a lot of insurance companies won't cover sending you back to your home state or home city or wherever. So that's where MedJet steps in and facilitates all that
Right.
and
And if
bring
you
your
are,
bike.
Is
yeah,
it
and
called
bring your
MedJet
bike,
Assist?
it's called MedJet,
Oh,
MEDJET, MedJet.
yeah, I
And they
see it, but they got
also,
MedJet Assist, Horizon, and all that. So yeah.
right. And they also have different policies, different levels of policies that you can sign up for. If you are a member of the Iron Butt Association, they give you discounts. If you're a member of the SMA, they give you discounts. If you're a member of AMA, they give you discounts. So, and as a matter of fact, with some rallies, they require you to have MedJet. So that's another tool out there to help get you recovered, help get your gear recovered for
Yeah,
incidentals if you
and for those of
happen to
you
go
that have
down.
a Spot device, Spot has something similar to that as well, and it's stupid cheap. It's like $30 for the year. It's not quite as good. I forget what Spots is. It's I don't know. They'll bring you and a family member home or something like that. But yeah, it for $30 for the whole year, it's definitely worth the add-on.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Folks, we're giving you some nuggets and gems out
Oh yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
Please look it up. Just take the time to
MedJet's
look it up.
expensive, so yeah, MedJet's
Yes,
high
it
dollar.
is.
Yeah, very
Medjets high
very high
dollar.
dollar. So if you're
Yeah.
running a Spot tracker, definitely look at what Spot has. I forget what they call it. But yeah, it's pretty similar, but it does not cover your bike, getting your bike back.
Right. And Dennis just posted that Garmin has SAR coverage also. Thank you, Dennis, for that. So, folks, once you get into
Good.
the long distance community, you will find that there's a lot that's been offered to long distance riders. If you get with different organizations, you become a member. Uh, yeah, your vocabulary will change because I was like, what is a med jet? What is a med jet? So that was new to me, but it's worth having. Garmin, Spot, all that good stuff. Let's get back to the big board.
Yeah, people keep asking about Hyde on the Panhead. He's doing good. He's trucking
At this stage
along.
of the game, day now, folks, we're emphasizing safety.
I just saw Hyde at.
That's
No, I'm sorry.
11:26.
Yeah, I think he was at a rest stop.
11:27.
I think that was him. I'm not sure. I might be looking at someone else. Looking at so many riders.
So you're seeing riders like this right here. This is always good. They're moving right along. We don't know exactly if they're how close they are, the proximity to each other, but as long as they're moving right along, consistent on the route. 35 is the route.
Hyde is 1002, right?
Back
Yeah.
there we have Incredible. Incredible tracker off. Last movement was at 6:36 p.m. It looks like they may be at they're at the dealership. Hopefully everything is good. And here's another thing you need to take in consideration when you're saying, "Hey, I want to ride a Hoka." Hey, dealerships close on Sunday and Monday. That's what they typically close on, where they don't have a tech, a service tech in the back. So, you have to take that in consideration too. If you have a breakdown, if you get towed, you may be sitting for 1 or 2 days before they even look at your bike.
Wow.
So you may have a plan to say, I want to do this in 12 days, and you end up sitting for 2 days waiting for um, the dealership to have their techs come in. Hey, Roger, thank you for tuning in. Ride in Alaska. Carl is asking. Yes.
Yeah, I
And
look at Hyde. If his
and
if his tracker is working, Hyde's at a Harley Davidson too.
right. So on the big board, Kilroy Riot. We do not know how accurate this is, but Dot Lake, Dry Creek area.
Yeah, Hyde and pop off at Flaming Gorge.
Yeah.
What is that, John, or day 8? Okay, we just
Mhm.
got an update from Tone. They're good, just checking in. Outstanding. Thank you, Tone. I got
Good.
Tone on
Good.
speed dial, folks. If you must know, I got him on speed dial. Hey, this is stressful, man. I'm over here sleep deprived. I'm up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning,
Man, you're doing a great
coming in,
job.
checking. I can't pull myself
Hey,
away.
hey, 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 Hop. I told Solo he gonna be buying new equipment soon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, no.
He's gonna have to
I'm
sell
gonna
that
leave
old
it.
bike for a studio.
Right,
Got it, man.
exactly.
Oh man. Hey, folks. We're happy that these riders are still moving, still in the game. Um, they're still facing a lot of miles ahead of them, and we keep emphasizing a Hoka Hay mile is not your average mile. So uh, if you're thinking about riding the Hoka Hay, if you're thinking about wanting to enter the Hoka Hay, go and spend about 2 or 3 days on all back roads. Pull up the old MapQuest and do it turn by turn way and see how you feel at the end of that. You might as well say go do a figure 8 on Teller the Dragon. After you finish that, go over and do the Devil's Highway. After you finish that, go right around Joshua Tree for a couple of days.
Yeah, General's Highway.
Yep, General's Highway.
I like what
Head up, might as well head up to Pikes Peak there. So at the bottom it's 90 degrees. At top it's going to be 54.
Yeah, it's funny. In 2018, my first one, when they handed out the directions, I see all these pro riders. They're looking at them. They read down. I'm like, oh, we're gonna hit this road. We're gonna hit the Dragon. We're gonna hit this, and just calling out all these roads. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, how do you know what all these roads are just by looking at them? And then now I'm looking at them like, oh yeah, I can do that now.
Yeah, yeah. When you start riding these scenic highways, you start remembering the numbers. 191. You start remembering 87. You know the numbers. You go away
Yeah.
from the names to just the numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was freaking out that everybody knew just roads all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we're in Medicine Park, Oklahoma, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit this road, North Carolina. That's a good one, and this and that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you know?
I mean, it's incredible. And I know we're talking about the Hoka Hay, but I got to give it to Big Ben Ursh. During the IBR, he received his direction. He went straight to his bike, and he was gone. And I was like, what is he doing? He knew the roads. He knew his own technique. He could map it out just in his head and see it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you can see the card hand.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these riders up here, a lot of these roads up here, I've ridden them. I know this area. Uh, I know this would have been a great ride.
Yeah.
I know it would have been a great ride. Hop, you know it would have been a great ride.
Oh yeah, it would have been fun. It would have been a good one.
Yeah.
We would have been finished by now, though.
we would have been, yeah, we would have been at the finish line already. I'm gonna
Day
pull up
9,
this
huh?
tracker. Day 9. I'm gonna pull up this tracker. This is from Jenny, and this is her day 8, 801 miles. So I'm gonna try to share this with you. Just give me a second to queue it up. And this is her day 8, 801 miles.
Look at them twisties.
Mm-hmm. I like that app.
That's what we mean. No straight line, no interstate, no blasting, locking in at 80, 90 miles an hour. You own you own the throttle, you own the clutch, you own the brake. You're working, like I say, you use your whole body. And that's it.
Yeah.
Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in for this evening edition. Live coverage from the 2024 Hoka Hay Motorcycle Challenge. We appreciate you joining us. Once again, you can follow over on Hop's Adventure on YouTube. Keep It Logic on YouTube, and K Solo the Rider on YouTube. So that's 3 different platforms right there, and here on Facebook that you can catch rebroadcast. Yellowknife before the start. Dan, I do not know. John said he would have been right on your tail. Okay, Hop. John Meadows said he would have been right on your tail, buddy.
Becky, that's the Relive app.
Yeah, Relive.
And like I say, there's different trackers out there. Riders use, what they're comfortable with once they, get to know it. I want to try to get Rebecca on. Rebecca's really been tracking the big board. Rebecca, I think I might have sent you the link. If you are watching, please feel free to chime in. We would love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to some of these new riders if they got family or significant others watching.
Yeah.
Have them, if they can talk and ride. We don't want to hold them up, but they can talk and ride for a few minutes. We'd certainly, like to have them on.
Yeah. Rebecca, you have the link. So when I see you pop up in the queue, we'll try to bring you on. Like I say, Rebecca is following the big board. She's also monitoring. She's a moderator for one of the groups, one of the chat groups of the Hoka Haze, and family members are watching it. She's constantly updating it. I know Dana is headed up. I know who's head
see
up.
if I can get a
I
rider
know
on.
Billy and Kathy are headed up. Other riders are headed up.
You see that question right there from Troy?
Hello.
What's happening, Mr. Lamb?
Damn, we're stopping and getting gas and a little chew on some beef jerky.
All right, you're on the live. Is that all right for a minute or two?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's your number? 1098, is that right?
1098.
All right, guys, we got Michael Lamb, wrong way on the tracker, on the phone with. So where are you at? Let's see if your tracker's accurate.
Well, we're at a Shell station that's on part of the highway service system.
Like
it's not a town. They actually dump you. I mean, like in Pennsylvania on the toll road, they've got services that are right on the highway. So I don't know. We're not anywhere near town, I don't think.
Okay. Are you off of 16?
Yes.
All right. It might be accurate. So how's the ride been so far?
Oh, absolutely great. Other than the first 2 days, riding in the hurricane winds and rain for 2 days, that sucked. But other than that, it's been absolutely fantastic.
And this is your second Hoka Hay, correct?
Yes.
What did you prepare different this one than you did from the first one?
Well, a whole lot of stuff. And one, I got a new bike, so I haven't broke down at all. I broke down a lot last time. I'm eating healthy. I brought the adventure meals, and I'm doing 1 or 2 of those a day, plus protein, chocolate milk in the morning. No, I hadn't had a roller dog yet. No fried chicken. And then I'm actually not doing any crazy riding without sleeping, which I kind of had to do last time because I spent so much time sitting in dealerships, broke down. I'm actually getting 5 hours sleep a night, so I'm wide awake. My navigation is actually going extremely well. I've got less than 100 bad miles, and what is today, day 9?
That's good. That is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually making much better time and feel much better.
Now you've been riding with Frankie Mountains. Was that planned, or did y'all just meet up?
No, we just ended up meeting up. The original plan was to ride with Ronimo, and then his brother got in. And the very first place you could make a bad turn, his brother made a bad turn. We never could find him. Ronimo got frustrated. We were in how it is day 1, you're in big crowds.
Right.
And it was raining and traffic lights were interrupting everything. And I never saw him again after about 2 o'clock of day 1. And so I just took off and caught up with Raindrop. She asked me if she could ride with me. So we did until the middle of day 2. And Frankie Mountains caught up to us. So the 3 of us have been together mostly
off and on until she crashed. So yeah, Frankie and I have discovered we ride real well together.
Awesome.
Good. Good. Yeah, it is.
All right. Now is Iceman and Luma with you now?
Iceman just caught up to us, and he just made a major fuck up. Oh, I'm sorry.
No shit. Oh man, he's just having a hell of a time.
Yeah, so he's got his. Well, he pulled away from the pump, and I looked over there, and it says diesel. And Luma pulled up to it and said, "Did he really just use this?" And I said, "Yeah." So now they're draining it. But Luma's been with us a couple times. Luma keeps getting the itch and runs off and leaves us, and then makes a wrong turn, gets lost, and catches back up to us.
Yeah.
And I explained to him that that's what I was doing last year. I wasn't sleeping enough. I was staying tired, and I wasn't making good decisions on that. So he has stayed with us all day today. And then another guy named Brad Luptich, 1143. He's been with me and Frankie for 2 days, and he's a good rider, and we're just taking turns leading, navigating, and all that. But one of the things that, I told these guys, I said, we all need to be on the Navi. We need to be on the directions and correcting each other. And so far, doing it that way, we've kept from making a few bad turns.
Right on.
Good.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
So quickly, what advice could you give any rider that's thinking about doing the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge? What advice could you give them?
The best advice is, ride a lot, practice with all the gear you plan to take. Practice with your sleeping gear, practice with whatever your direction holder is going to be, so that, because 99% of the time you're doing it in the dark. When you stop to sleep, if you can't set all your stuff up and get comfortable, on the ground 5 minutes sleeping, then you're wasting a whole lot of time. So, be prepared when you show up. Don't show up and practice while you're doing it. Some great advice. I don't know that, you're kind of, if you kind of got to be a rider already, and then just show up and do it.
Right.
There you go.
There you go, folks.
Well, you're having a good ride this year, man. You're ahead of schedule. You're on a good pace, so that's good.
Oh yeah, everything is working really good this year. I mean, I can't believe today's day 9, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, day 9 in 22. Man, I was exhausted. I beat to a pulp, hanging on for dear life. I got up this morning, and it could have very well been day 1. I mean, just feeling real strong, and I think just having learned to kind of pace yourself, make sure you sleep, make sure you eat, has made a big difference.
How's the mental aspect this year versus 22?
Oh, it's so much easier this year. 22, I was stressed to make time on this schedule because I broke down so often. And so I just kept trying to push for the miles, push for the miles. This year it feels more like, I think, what normal Hoka Hey should feel like, riding a bike that is dependable. And so I'm seeing, I've had so much more fun on this one, seeing the sights and all of that. I don't know that I remember much anything, seeing anything on the first one. This time, I mean, I rode the Moki Dugway, got to see Monument Valley, Valley of the Gods, Grand Canyon, Slide Rock Canyon, Key West. Just enjoyed seeing the things because I'm in much better physical and mental shape for the ride.
Right. Have you done Moki before, or was that your first time?
No, one time before, 3 years ago, but I did it top to bottom, and the road was perfect. It's like they had just done it or worked on it. And so when I turned on it this time, it was its bottom, and they had rerouted us around it because it had some pretty bad washouts. But I was just like, man, I'm that close. I got to go see. And so it had a couple of rough spots. I mean, several people went down trying to get through it. You just had to, put your feet down and walk it down into these washouts and walk it back up the other side. And then you could just continue on. So it was not terrible, but it was, it should have been closed for motorcycles like it was.
Are you stopping and taking some pictures?
Very few, because I'm riding with Frankie Mountains and he's taking 150 every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Photo drops, and I'm getting all those.
Good deal. So
All right.
a question for you, just one question before we go off. I know we're on day 9. Do you
Yes.
think you prepared yourself for this this portion of the ride? Now, this is where we hit that wall phase, where hydration, rest, all of that come into play. I know you touched on it, but are you still feel strong? Are you ready to finish it up?
Oh yeah, I carry a 1 gallon Yeti jug with a Camelback hose, and I try to drink that thing dry every day. So no hydration issues. Yeah, I feel incredibly strong. I've only got 3 days left after this one. I should get to the finish line during the daylight hours 3 days from now. So I feel like $1 million.
Do you think it's going to take 3 days from where you're at?
Well,
I was thinking 2.
It's going to take more than 2, I believe, because we figured the last set of instructions they gave us 2,900 miles, and we thought, okay, we can do that 3 days, just adding a little extra push. Well, then they detoured us. They did a 512-mile detour on top of that.
The fires?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so, 512 miles is the detour. The original road was supposed to be 110, so they've added 402 miles. So that's why we're thinking we may get into day 3 from now to get there. It's kind of, we're doing, and I don't know if you're the one who said it or if somebody else, but somebody told me one time, take what the road gives you. Don't try to take from the road. And so we're getting the miles that we can get. We're trying to run 5 a.m. to midnight. Sometimes we've slept over, sometimes we've rode over, but, depending on where you can find a spot. So 3 days is what we're allowing, but we may be there sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, you may get stuck one night waiting on gas.
Yes, and that's been a concern. Yeah. We stopped here for gas because the map, you look at it, we're doing some serious mapping because the detour, the map shows nothing for quite a ways. We were only down to half a tank, but we stopped and filled up just to kind of make sure that we get through there.
Yeah, don't pass the gas station up there.
No, you're exactly right. And another thing up here,
I'm stepping
close to the what?
No, go ahead.
Close to the speed limit the whole time up here in Canada, because like every other car is a cop.
Yeah, they said the state troopers are out up there looking for motorcycles, so y'all be careful.
Yeah. One of them followed Frankie for, every time you change a lane, stayed behind him for like 5 or 6 miles. So we're not speeding at all up here because we're too close to the finish line. Take a chance on that.
Well, we'll let you guys get back to it. Thanks for calling in and talking to us, and have a great trip and good luck, man. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, Hop. I'll see you when I get back home.
Sounds good.
All right, take care. That's rider number 1098, wrong way. Yeah, folks. All right, we've been up here about an hour and a half, gentlemen. This has been a good show. I think we've shown a lot of good information. We provided a lot of good information about the Hoka hay and what it takes to ride it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Hop, Logic?
Yeah, no, thanks for tuning in.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, I wish we could talk more accurately about these ones up front, but unfortunately, we have no idea what's going on, just like everybody else.
Right.
Y'all keep, I guess, Iceman in your prayers. I guess he's got to get his stuff fixed now. So.
Right. We did get a message from Beth. They are tracking the situation with the fleet tracker. So they are aware of it, folks. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to shut this thing down. Thank everybody for tuning in.
It's Robin.
Okay. I know I tried to get Rebecca to come on.
Yeah,
I gave
the link didn't work.
Yeah, the link didn't work, and then she said she just want to call in. So we will get you on another episode, Rebecca. So we are definitely going to get you on. We want to thank everybody.
Thank
And
you.
yep. I got to give a shameless plug shout out to my dealership, Boneyard Harley Davidson, located in Winterville, North Carolina. Go check them out. Great deals. All right. We're going to shut it down. See you in the morning, 09
Sounds good. We'll
Eastern
see you guys.
Standard, 8 Central Time. Till
All
then,
right.
Hoka, hey.
Okay, hey.
Keep it logical.